Hi, Richard at Coughlin 666. How are you? Pardon me. That was a dreadful start, that wasn't it? Now, hope you're feeling well. Right. This is going to be the first instalment in the debate challenge, so to speak, between myself and Big Jerry, or as he is now known, the Night Vision Phantom of Death. Now, originally when I made my first video, those who saw my first video, the idea was, for the first round, there's going to be, I was challenged by Big Jerry to pick a topic for a debate. I decided to say, instead of doing a proper debate, going over the same old shit, I thought instead, why don't we try something fun? In which, what we're going to do is, I'm going to try and see if I can prove Jerry wrong in one of his videos he made a little while ago, when he said that an atheist and a Christian could never be friends in a proper sense. So I wanted to prove him wrong by having several exchanges with him, and that would actually allow me and him to get to know each other a bit better. And it would also see between the atheist, myself, and the Christian, Big Jerry, as to who necessarily is the more honest, is the more open, which one of us is more willing to be open and truthful and share ourselves with the world a little bit more. This isn't an outdoing contest. I'm not trying to embarrass anyone. I'm not trying to make anyone look bad. This is just a simple exchange between the two of us. Now, originally, the first round, round one, was the personal questions round. 5 personal questions, where basically me and Jerry ask each other 5 questions about ourselves, and they can be as personal and as private and intrusive as you like, and we have to answer them. We have to. This is the rules of the first round. For the first round, you have to answer all 5 questions. If you don't answer all 5 questions, or if you refuse to answer one, or you don't answer them properly, you brush over it, or you just refuse flat out to answer the question, you lose that round. You can't win. If we both refuse to answer at least one of the questions, we both lose, and we go on to the next round, which I will reveal round by round. Now, originally Jerry was going to go first. I said to Jerry he could ask me 5 questions, but he sent me a message saying he wasn't too sure. He wanted me to go first, and he asked if I could ask the questions to start with, which I thought was fair enough. He probably wasn't too sure as to how I would be going with my questions. I suppose he wants to see where I go with my questions before he asks me his own. I want to make this perfectly clear to you, though, Jerry. Ask me anything. Right? Ask me anything. Personal questions. Go as far as you want. I will not be offended or embarrassed or upset with anything you ask me. I promise. Now, what this test is, this round is, this is a test of 2 things: trust and honesty. It's quite simple. Because you have to trust me, Jerry, to ask you 5 questions. And you have to be honest enough to answer them, and I have to trust your answers. It's quite simple, really. So here are the 5 questions I would like you to answer, Jerry. And you've got to do it within the 10 minutes. Okay. Now, let's assume God exists, there's no argument here, and God says to you, hypothetically, I know hypothetical situations can be a nightmare for some Christians, I'm not saying you will, but if God was to tell you that you could pick one sin, or one thing that was classified as a sin, and you would be allowed to commit that sin as much as you wanted throughout your entire life, and he would not punish you for it, what one sin would you pick? That's it. That's question 1. What one sin, if you knew you couldn't get punished for it, what one sin would you choose to commit? Number 2. If you could switch lives with any other person in the world, be they living or dead from history now, has to be a real person, can't be a fictional character. If you could switch lives, and live the life of that person for one day, who would that be and why? And that's one question. I know it's a double-barreled one, but who would you like to switch places with for a day, and why would you want to switch places with them? Question number 3. Can you please tell me which are your 3 favourite passages from the Bible? What are your 3 favourite Bible passages? I know you said you weren't going to use Bible quotes, but we'll let that one go. Question number 4. If you could go back in time and change one thing in the past, and it could be anything, it could be a moment of significant global history, it could be just something from your life, it could be one little instant in your life that you think, oh, I did. You know, if you could go back in time and you could change one thing from history or from the past, what would it be and why? Simple. What would you change and why? That's question 4. And question number 5. Now this is this is actually a question, I didn't think of this question, it's a question I heard once that was actually created by the conservative journalist Andrew Sullivan, who I'm sure most of you have heard of. And it was a very interesting question, and it was from a list of 2 questions he would like to ask Republican candidates in a debate. And I thought, and I'm going to ask you this one, Jerry. This is going to be question 5. If you could prevent a major terrorist attack by having full sex with a man, would you do it? That's it. If there was going to be a terrorist attack of some description, not necessarily anywhere specific, but let's say in America, and it was going to lead to the deaths of, not just that, tens of thousands of people, and you were told that you could stop it from happening, but you had to have full sex with another man, would you do it? Those are your 5 questions, Jerry. Take as long as you want to get back to me and answering them. You've got to answer them all within 10 minutes, obviously. I mean, you've got 10 minutes. And once you've answered, you just need to answer the questions. Once you've answered the questions, you can ask me my 5 questions, and then I will get back to you. And once we've answered each other's questions, then we'll go on to, we'll take it from there, and I'll explain what happens next. But I hope to hear from you soon, Jerry, and I look forward to your answers. This is Richard the Dick Coughlin, 666, saying good night. May God bless.